Hey guys, Mr. Bowman here. Today's learning objective is in green and we are learning to solve quadratic equations from a given context. So for today's work, there's a bit of a process that I want us to follow. And the first step is we really need to form an equation, and that's really dependent on our question. We'll have a look at that in a little bit as well. The second step, that's when you have to rearrange. And that's when you have to think about those two criterias. It must be factorized and it must be equal to 0 as well. And then the final step, solve and then link to your context. Link to context. So those are the three steps for using quadratic equations to solve from a given context. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change pen color. Let's get into the blue pen. There's the blue pen. Let's get into a scenario. So example number 1 that we want to look at. So I've got two consecutive numbers. And I know they multiply to 72. We need to show quadratics, or show with quadratics, how can we go ahead and solve this? So most of us have figured out the answer already. You could probably go, well, it's probably going to be 8 and 9, right? But how can we show that using quadratics? So our first work, so we're going to say x is equal to the first number, which means x plus 1 will be equal to that second number that we're looking at. We then want to form an equation, so it's going to be x times x plus 1. That forms or comes to 72. So that's our first step. We've done our equation. We then need to go ahead and rearrange to make sure we've got our conditions. So we're going to expand that bracket. That's going to be x squared plus x equals 72. We're then going to go minus 72 minus 72. So x squared plus x minus 72 is equal to 0. We're then going to look to factorize what multiplies to 72 but adds, or negative 72 but adds to positive 1. And that there is going to be negative 8 and positive 9. That's equal to 0. We can then go ahead and solve. Our first answer of x is going to be equal to 8. And our second answer of x is going to be equal to 9, or negative 9. So we've now rearranged. We've actually gone ahead and solved as well. Next step, we now need to link to our context. So our first answer, so if x is equal to 8, x plus 1 is equal to 9. And the second answer, if x is equal to negative 9, x plus 1 is equal to negative 8. So the two numbers that we're actually thinking of, there's actually two answers. So we'll say that answer number 1, 8 times 9 gets us to 72. But don't forget about answer number 2, which is going to be negative 9 times negative 8. That's also going to get us to positive 72. So that was our first example. Let's change pen colors. Let's get into the orange pen. And another example or area we can actually use this is within our measurement in our area. So example number 2. So let's say we've got a shape, and that shape has an area of 99 meters squared. And we know that this side here is x, which means this side here is going to be x plus 2. So that side there is 2 meters shorter than the original side. So our equation for the area of a shape, area is going to be equal to base times height. We're going to substitute everything we know. So we know the area is 99, so we're going to put that in. We know the base of the shape is x plus 2. So that's that part there, which will also be the same as the top. And the height of that shape is going to be x. So we've formed our equation, got the orange tick there. We now need to rearrange, factorize it, and make it equal to 0. So let's go ahead and do that. So 99 is going to be equal to x and then x plus 2. So that there's just really making it look a bit simpler. We then go ahead and expand it. So 99 is equal to x squared plus 2x We can then do minus 99 minus 99. So 0 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 99. From there, we go ahead and factorize. So what numbers multiply to negative 99 add to positive 2? So in this case, I'm thinking it's going to be positive 11 and minus 9. I'm then going to go ahead and solve. So my first answer for x is negative 11. My second answer is actually going to be positive 9. And this is when quadratics get a bit tricky. So this negative 11 here is actually a false answer. So that there is a false answer because we cannot have a negative measurement. So when would you have a tape measure and measure negative 11 meters? So false answer, can't have a negative dimension. So that's really relevant to area and measurement. And that means our final answer. So therefore, that shape is going to be 9 meters, which is the shorter side, going up and down, by 11 meters. And that there would have got us to that area of 99 meters squared. So hopefully you found this video useful. Don't forget about our 3 steps. Form the equation, rearrange to make sure they're factorized and equal to 0, and then solve and link to context and answer that question. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Now let's get into heaps and heaps of practice.